That's the way you've always been with me, but you're just been struggling. I've known you since you were 17 years old,
Yes,
and
sir.
it's an addiction issue rather than a criminal issue. This was at South Erie Street and Michigan Avenue. Good morning, Mr. Hovarder.
Morning.
This is Judge Middleton. This wasn't scheduled for anything, but I saw that you'd been picked up on a parole hold, and so I thought I would bring you in and talk to you about this case from Three Rivers. Also here with us is Mr. Keith Stickley, the Chief Public Defender. I asked Tim to come, Chief Public Defender, not offender. You got charged with being a disorderly person for huffing in Three Rivers back on March 7th. The file number in the matter is 24421OM. You failed to appear for your arraignment, and I knew that you'd been on parole and you were at rehab or at Twin Counties or someplace. So I didn't do a bench warrant for your arrest. I did an order to show cause, and you didn't show up for the order to show cause. And so then I didn't do anything about it. And then your parole agent, Tracy Shabbat, called and said that you got picked up and she has a parole hold for you. So we need to deal. Well, we need to deal with this. It's a pretty insignificant charge. You got a day at the front end and a day now. So I think you've got 2 days of jail credit. The way
Sir,
it's charged. What's that?
I was in here for about 2 weeks.
Okay. After March 7th?
Yeah, I have about 14 days served on this already.
All right. Well, then we'll call it 14 days. Other than that, did anybody promise you anything to get you to plead to that charge?
No, sir.
Or threaten you?
No, sir.
All right. Well, let's talk about it. The charge is disorderly person under Three Rivers ordinance. That's a misdemeanor. It's punishable by up to 90 days in jail and a fine of up to $100. The allegation is you were using chemical inhalants, and that's very debilitating. But they gave you a ticket, and then you didn't show up because I don't exactly know. You were in and out of one custody or another. Do you understand that if you do plead to that charge of disorderly person, you'll be giving up your right to have a trial? There will be no trial on this matter. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
If you had a trial, you would have the right to take the witness stand and testify in your own behalf. But you don't have to, because you have a right not to testify. And if you did not wish to testify, the judge or jury could not hold your silence against you. You'd have a right to have an attorney. You could hire one of your own choosing or ask me to appoint one for you. You'd have a right to have any of the witnesses for or against you subpoenaed to testify so they could be questioned under oath. And you have the right to be presumed innocent unless the state was able to prove your guilt beyond a reasonable doubt. You understand?
Yes, sir.
Let's take a look at this ticket.
I was very compliant, sir.
I'm sure you were. That's the way you've always been with me, but you're just been struggling. I've known you since you were 17 years old,
Yes,
and
sir.
it's an addiction issue rather than a criminal issue. This was at South Erie Street and Michigan Avenue. I guess that would, South Erie Street, I don't think goes all the way through to Michigan Avenue, but goes over by the trailer park.
Yeah.
All right. Were you using some inhalant?
No, sir. I had it in my pocket and I was going to use it. I was on my way to the library. I actually didn't even use it that day. I still haven't even used it. It was brand new. It was in my pocket and I still hadn't even used it.
Well,
I was
good,
going
'cause
to, though. I was going to, though.
all right, we'll call it 14 days credit, 14 days. I'm gonna waive the fine. The state minimum fees on 125 or 2 days. Concur with your parole violation. Do you know what your PO wants to do?
Send me to rehab.
Well,
I'm
you
supposed to be
certainly
in the
need
Jim
it.
Gilmore Center right now. I'm supposed to be in the Jim Gilmore Center right now. That's where I'm supposed to be.
All right. Haven't you done that before?
Yeah.
Well,
But
maybe one
it'll
time
help
it'll
me,
take.
sir.
What's
It'll
that?
help me. It's gonna help me,
Well,
sir. I'm really gonna use it for my advantage. It'll
I
help
hope
me.
so. You're not a kid anymore.
No,
And
sir.
I'm not telling you anything you don't know. You're just squandering your young life and you deserve better than this. Um, anyway, this case is done. One less thing you got to worry about. Inhalants don't show up on most drug screens. Urine tests certainly don't show up on a breathalyzer, but they're very, very damaging to your brain. And I hope you can stay away from that. All right,
Yes,
Mr.
sir.
Hovarder, that takes care of this matter. I'll send a copy of this to your PO so she knows what happened. And
Thank you.
good luck at the Gilmore Center.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye. He's right. He was in jail for some of that time on some parole ramifications. Then he got an appearance date on this ticket. And then he was someplace, Gilmore or Twin, and he didn't show up. But so then he went AWOL and she issued a parole warrant for him and he got picked up apparently yesterday. So I'm not sure that 14 days is the exact amount of days, but it's close enough for what we're doing here. All right, thanks for your help. I have a probation violation with Lori Hines in about 8 minutes. So I'll see you, but that's all I have for this morning. This is the time and date set for a probation violation hearing in the matter of Destiny Elizabeth Miller. She's here with her attorney, Lori Hines. The probation agent in charge of this case, Autumn Kiefer, was theoretically here to testify regarding this matter, but I've just been informed that she isn't here. At any rate, Miss Miller, every time I read about this, just makes me sad. Like the young man I just saw a few minutes ago, Mr. Hovarder, although she's not as far down the path as he is. Miss Miller was put on probation on a use of methamphetamine charge, and we struggled right from the get-go. She didn't show up for sentencing and took a year or so to catch up with her. Then we struggled through the probation, had a previous probation violation, and Autumn has filed a probation violation petition. Case, alleging that the defendant has violated her probation. Find the actual petition. By essentially continuing to use drugs and alcohol. And she has been struggling. Autumn has prepared a status report with an update. Where's the actual petition? Here it is. It's alleged that, no, that's the previous one. She failed to appear on a bench warrant. She got picked up last week, March 28th, and at a place in Montville. She'd been in and out of a couple of different rehabs. I asked the court to set this for probation violation, and Ms. Hines was appointed. So the allegation is from way back when that she got the new retail fraud charge. She failed to abstain from the use of drugs or alcohol, and she failed to participate in treatment or programs as directed. Ms. Hines, how does your client wish to plead to the probation violation?
Guilty, Your Honor.
Destiny, did anybody threaten you to get you to plead to this
No, sir.
or promise you anything?
No, sir.
how old are you now? 22?
Yeah, I turned 23 in June.
All right, this was actually set for a hearing regarding your probation violation. Where we would have to take testimony to establish beyond a preponderance that you violated one or more terms of your probation. You don't have a right to have a jury trial on that, but you have a right to have a hearing and you have a right to have a lawyer. Ms. Hines has been with you since the beginning on this case. And you also have the right to simply acknowledge that you violated the terms of the probation. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
All right, let's look at the status report. We just lost track of you
Whole year.
for a year, and you had a bunch of positive tests, and then you were gone. And then we just caught up with you on March 28th. And you told me you'd been staying with your grandparents, then you were at this place you shouldn't have been over in Montville. Your daughter's over in Edwardsburg. So do you acknowledge that you got this retail fraud charge, which we took care of last week,
Yes, sir.
that you continued to use drugs or alcohol and that you didn't report to your probation officer? Is that yes?
Yes, sir.
All right. All right, you're 22 years old. You're not just a young kid anymore. Did you ever get your ID?
Yes, sir, I did.
So you do have an ID, but no driver's license.
No, I do not have a driver's license, but when I get out and go home, my dad said he's gonna help me get everything that I need to get my license.
All right, you got your ID in Indiana or Michigan?
Indiana.
All right, your dad got out of prison earlier this spring?
No, he's been out of prison for 3 years.
Oh, I got it mixed up. I thought he went back. Where is he?
He's in Mongo, Indiana. He just got accepted into drug court in LaGrange. Kenneth Miller.
All right, Lori, what would you like me to know?
Destiny did say that she had been in rehab in Bloomington, Indiana for 27 days. She got out February 27th. Hopefully she's telling me accurately that she's been clean since that date. You know, it just makes me sad for her. I look at her and see my youngest daughter who's going to start medical school in the fall. They're the same age. So just really a sad situation where family life can just make a difference in a young person's life and how they're move ahead. She's accepting of jail time. Maybe your dad can be help of you. Maybe you can, if your dad's on track, maybe you'll be on track if you go to Mongo, Indiana.
That's
He's
right.
on adult drug treatment court, so maybe that is a positive thing. So she's accepting of the recommendation. We would just ask for the 74 days. She can accept that with any credit of jail time that she's already served, Your Honor.
Destiny, at some point up the line a little bit, you come from an Amish family, is that
Yes, sir.
correct? And your grandparents were Amish?
Yeah, my dad's whole side of the family's Amish.
All right, but your dad's not presently in the church?
No, no, not currently, no.
All right, and your mother was not raised Amish? And your sister, was she was,
I don't have any sisters. I have 5 brothers.
all right, yeah, that's right. All right, so you're 22, you've never really had a job. Have you ever worked any place?
I worked at Popeyes in Howe, Indiana in like 2021.
Okay, on the toll road there?
Yes, sir.
Your story is just so sad.
No, it is sad.
Well, you got out of rehab and shortly thereafter, you're with all these people you shouldn't have been with.
I should have stayed in Bloomington, Indiana. But I knew I had a warrant to take care of, so
Did you have a warrant in another county? You're talking about this one.
just here.
Bloomington, Indiana is where Indiana University
Yes,
is.
sir.
They filmed one of my favorite movies, Breaking Away, in Bloomington, Indiana.
I actually had a job interview at the Hilton Garden Inn before I came back to Michigan, and I'm pretty sure I got the job, but I didn't go back to Bloomington. So, because I got picked up on my warrant.
I'm not trying to be overly critical, but people make bad decisions that they're stuck with. And I try not to comment on other people's appearance. That's one reason I just let my hair grow, because most people hate it. And it's like, well, that's my cross to bear. But face tattoos do not put you at the front of the line for a customer service job.
I know, it was actually a housekeeping job, it was for housekeeping.
Okay. Did you get those done when you were in jail?
When you were in rehab.
When I got them done in Montville, like 2 years ago.
Okay, just at somebody's house?
I plan to get them removed.
Yes. They're an instant sign when first as someone meets you that you've made bad decisions.
I definitely plan to get them removed.
I just talked with a young man. He's probably in his 40s now. And I met him when he was very young. And he's been in and out of prison, in and out of addiction. And he's about to maybe go back to rehab for the ultimate 5th time or something. You got so much potential, and you're so young, and to just keep swimming upstream is hard. But you need some forced clean time. This case is a 2021 case. It started off badly when you went AWOL for a year before we even got the sentence done. We had a couple of previous probation violations. You had 6 days jail. I ordered 90 days, credit 6. You now have 8 more, which is 14. I deferred the 90 days, and at some point when it goes as badly as this, I need to call people on it. 90 days, credit 14, which is 76 days to do. You will get good time credit. And if you're a trustee, you could be out sooner than that, but you just need some forced time. You got out of rehab and relapsed right into the same lifestyle with the same wrong people. And maybe you could benefit from your dad's program. He hasn't been very much help to you. Maybe you make up for it.
Actually,
What's that?
my dad has been a lot of help to me, actually.
Well, good. I hope he can in the near future. I'm gonna waive all fines and costs. Probation is revoked, loss of deferral.
So does that mean when I get out of jail, I won't be on probation or?
You won't owe me any money. You won't be on any probation or supervision. You can just get on with your life, although you will have this conviction on your record.
Yeah. So when would my out date be?
They can tell you when you get back to jail.
Okay.
Probably sometime in early June would be my guess.
So right around my birthday.
Yeah. Maybe not that early. Let me see. I don't know, 60 days. It could be. If you're a trustee, it'll be sooner. But I want you to just use the time to try to get your head on straight. But I've taken this as far as I can. And I wish you well. I wish you go to Indiana, get your life in order. But I can't do any more than I've done. So you're free to go.
Thank you.
Well, she's a danger only to herself. She's a nice, sweet young girl, but she is not doing very well. All right, Miss Hines. Yeah, we watch some kids and we watch some other kids.
She's Heidi. She was born the same year Heidi was.
Yes.
Sad.
Okay, I'm sure Heidi's all over Iowa basketball.
Oh, we all are. Go Hawkeyes.
Okay, well, that's tomorrow night.
Yeah, 9:20.
All right, thanks for your help.
Heidi got accepted, well, a bunch of schools, but she's going to Central Michigan. for-
They have a medical school?
Yeah, they do.
Well, let me stop the feed here.
So,
We
so
do what have we got here? Let's do Alexander Foster. Mr. Foster, good morning to you. This is file number 24291OD. It's an ordinance case from Three Rivers, I believe. Are you Alexander Foster?
Yes, sir.
We met before. I'm Judge Middleton, and you're here. And you're here with your lawyer, Mr. Ross Truckee. Mr. Foster, you got charged with operating while intoxicated. As you saw, we've had several of these today. We get about 250 of these a year. This was in Sturgis, Centerville and Chicago, right at the main four. Blood alcohol was 0.105. The prosecutor has agreed to reduce this to a charge of impaired driving. I went through this a couple times, but let's talk about it again. Operating while intoxicated is a misdemeanor. That's punishable by up to 93 days in jail and a fine of up to $500. Carries 6 points on your driving record and requires that your license be suspended. Prosecutors agreed to dismiss that charge for a plea to a lesser charge of impaired driving. Impaired driving is punishable by up to 93 days in jail, fine of up to $300, 4 points on your driving record, and again, it allows you to keep a restricted driver's license to drive back and forth to work and other purposes.
Your Honor, this is a city case also.
It is a city case, and
Yeah.
you've also got unpaid fines and costs, 2 sets of them. A no ops and a domestic violence. You owe me $680. It was due in March of 2021. So one option is to just put you in jail. One option is to have you start to pay your old fines and costs before we do the sentence in this one. But Mr. Foster, you've been here quite a while. Did you hear me go through the advice of rights? That you're giving up your right to have a trial if you enter this plea. Did you hear me do that?
Yes, sir.
All right, well, let's do it for you and Mr. Eberstein. Do you understand that if you do plead to this charge, you'll be giving up your right to have a trial in front of a judge or jury? There will be no trial. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
If you had a trial, you'd have the right to have any of the witnesses for or against you subpoenaed to come to court, so they could be questioned under oath. You would have the right to take the witness stand in your own behalf and testify for yourself, but you don't have to, because you have a right not to testify. If you did not wish to testify, the judge or jury cannot hold your silence against you, and you have the right to be presumed innocent if and until the state was able to prove your guilt beyond a reasonable doubt. You understand?
Yes, sir.
Where were you going?
I was heading back home,
From where?
dropping somebody off at their house. You can tell.
Where were you coming from?
I was coming from Three Rivers.
To Sturgis?
Yes.
Where were you drinking?
Christian Brothers.
Brandy?
Yes.
Where did you drink it?
I drank it in Sturgeon, then went to Three Rivers and finished it off, and then I stopped there and just drove back. I never finished the drink.
Well, I'm glad you didn't crash. And Ross, you'll accept the blood alcohol was 0.105.
Yes.
All right. Let's set this also for May 6th. Does that work for you, Ross?
Believe so. Mr. Foster's also got another file, state case. That wasn't up for today, but we'd be open to entering a plea in that today just to.
Well, let me see if I can find it. It doesn't show on my cheat sheet. So let's see, because I've seen Mr. Foster lately.
Got a file number for you if that helps.
It says it's up for 419, so that is an operating with no ops. Yes. What do we want to do with that case?
There's an offer from the prosecutor to allowing another.
All right. 232388 ST. On that case, you're charged with driving without a valid operator's license. You got to stop driving. How'd you get here today?
Somebody drove me.
Because you got a no ops from way back in 2019 where you never paid the fine and was reduced from a driving suspended. You had no valid operator's license when you were driving drunk in February. And then you got another one sometime at about that same time. So you don't have a valid license, and this impaired driving conviction ain't gonna help it much. All right, so on that day, let's see the date of this ticket.
I got my temporary. I just got to do the road test. I got to find a.
Oh, yeah, you sure do. But I would suggest you do it sooner rather than later before this conviction hits your driving record.
Right.
All right, so that was supposed to be in front of Judge Pattison. So on December 30th, we were driving a car here in St. Joe County without a valid license.
Yes.
All right. All right, we'll show as allowing another to violate the motor vehicle code. Set both cases for sentence for May 6th at 11 o'clock. You do not need to appear for the pretrial on May 19th. I mean, April 19th. Are you working?
Yeah, I was going to ask, is it possible that I can, well, actually, never mind.
No, yeah, it's possible. I want you to start making payments on all these unpaid fines and costs, or the likelihood that I'm just going to put you in jail goes up. One of these is a DV, which you didn't pay anything since 2021, and the other one is a no ops. They cut you a break on this one. So I want to see A, you don't have to pay everything off, but I want you to make some payments on this stuff between now and May 6th. And B, I want you to take your driver's test and get your permit and get your license. And then we'll see what we're gonna do. Where are you working?
Was working in Morgan Nelson, but we just did they just did a week off from there. But other than that, I'm doing my barbecue business.
Well, you told me you were at
Morgan Nelson.
Morgan, and that's
just,
the problem is they're like this. They were hiring people, they're laying
they
off.
just did another week off, and then they were doing another week off here in like the next 2 weeks.
Well, that's a good company.
Is there an afternoon slot available on May 6th to help preserve his?
Yeah, you work in first shift?
Yeah.
Yeah, I occasionally will do these at 4 o'clock.
I'm available for.
All right, now your temporary permit will allow you to drive with somebody else in the car. So you can do that. Don't drive without it. Don't step on any more landmines until we get this thing taken care of. But you need to start paying me some money. It's been 3 years. And let's see what we can accomplish between now and the 6th of May. All right, you're free to go.
Yeah, like I said, I'm heading to our business right now. And be there, I can come back to
Who brought you here?
Neil.
Okay, all right. When's your next barbecue gig?
Today.
Where?
In front of Myers.
In Sturgis?
No, 3 Rivers.
You're doing it in front of Myers and 3 Rivers?
In front of the GOAT.
Yes, the strip mall out in front of Myers, where like Tokyo Steakhouse.
Oh, there?
Yes, sir.
Oh, I didn't know that. All right, maybe I'll see you there.
Sounds good.
This is file 232425SM. You're Gary Everstein.
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Everstein, you got charged with obstructing a police officer by disguise and retail fraud in the second degree. Let's look those up. It's alleged that you were at Walmart, #1 stealing place in St. Joe County is Walmart in Three Rivers. And you took some property worth more than 200, but less than 1,000. And I'm not sure what this disguise was about. Both of those are misdemeanors punishable by up to a year in jail and a fine of up to $1,000. Prosecutor has agreed to reduce both of those to a charge of retail fraud in the third degree, 1 count, which is punishable by up to 93 days in jail and a fine of up to $500. They've agreed to defer the sentence, set it out about 90 days, and have you do our retail fraud deferral program. And if you do that, the charge would be dismissed and there would be no criminal charge on your record as a result of this incident. Do you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
I went through the advice of rights just a minute ago. Do you understand you have all those same rights?
Yes, Your Honor.
Other than the plea agreement here, did anyone promise you anything to get you to plead to this?
No, Your Honor.
Your Honor, did you mention that restitution is part of the plea?
4172.
Yes.
This is a common thing that I rail against, underscanning. But according to this, you got some jumper cables and you put a Nerf toy sticker on it. And the jumper cables were worth $45 and the sticker was worth $3.15, which leaves a shortfall of $41 and some. You understand?
Yeah, Your Honor.
Is that what happened?
No, I grabbed him. I was in a hurry. I just got out of work, just got paid until Friday. You know what I mean? And I put $100 in the machine and grabbed my change, threw it in there with the receipt in the bag and walked out.
All right, is this the only thing you bought?
Yeah, that's the only thing I bought. So I didn't even notice like how much change I got out of the machine.
What do you do, sir?
Construction,
Who do you work for?
all trades in Chipswana, but I'm working in Elkhart right now.
What do they do?
Build factory.
Is that an Amish shop?
Kinda. He used to be honest.
Hey, there it is.
The first report's more about the disguise, the second supplemental is the retail fraud. And then we have a copy of the receipt, Your Honor, that indicates that he paid with a $10 bill
Yeah.
for jumper cables that would have normally cost $45 almost. Not a $100 bill.
I think we can craft a little bit more of a basis relating to kind of recklessly.
Well, I want him to tell me the truth. I'm inclined to like just have her withdraw the plea deal and just give you about 90 days in jail. It's one thing to be a thief. It's another thing to be a liar and a
Yeah.
thief.
I was just in a hurry that day. I was like I said.
All right, so,
My vehicle broke down.
okay, now then you gave him a false name and
There's a bit of an explanation for the false name if you'd like to hear it, Your Honor. Mr. Eberstein was adopted. He was born as Gary Engelmeyer,
all right,
was adopted as a child and kind of uses both names. And he actually provides that as part of a registry. that he's
okay,
listed on.
got you
And
there,
I
all
was
right.
trying to talk to the officer. He just wouldn't hear anything I had to say.
Well, that charge is being dismissed.
Correct.
So let's take a look at the other part. I wish I would have been more with it with Miss Comer because she's got a bunch of unpaid stuff. The other report hasn't got here yet. Did you send me 2?
No, just one, and they're both been the same.
All right, let's take a look. Well, it's all being dismissed if you hold up your end of the deal, but I understand perhaps the confusion about the name. You don't carry any ID?
Yeah, it was out in the car. So I was trying to tell him I'd go get it if he'd let me, and he wasn't hearing nothing I had to say. Not a word.
Use a $10 bill.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're in this up to your eyeballs, but I'll do the deferral. You didn't use $100 bill, you used a $10 bill to buy a $45 set of jumper cables that you didn't have enough money for. So,
Okay, it's gonna help.
all right, let's set this out for sentencing. We do have $100 of bond, that's a plus. Set it for July 8 at 10:30. I want you to do the economic crime class, pay $42 restitution to Walmart from bond, 10 hours of community service. You're barred from Walmart. And you'd also pay your traffic ticket, which is 212089. I don't think you have a valid license. Do you have your license back?
Yes, Your Honor.
In the old days, it wouldn't have given you your license back with multiple unpaid tickets. I want you to pay that. All right, now let me repeat. If you hold up your end of the deal, this charge is going to be dismissed.
Yes, sure.
If you don't, we can proceed to sentencing at that time.
Okay.
I want you to take this form out to the counter. They may send you downstairs to the probation department to get plugged into the economic crime class and the community service.
Okay.
Thank you, Melissa, for your help with those.
Take care. Make sure you get that stuff done.
I will.
Like, right now. Don't
Yeah.
wait till.
No, I won't try to do it. Yeah.
Well, you don't have to pay the restitution. We'll take that out of your bond,
Okay.
but I want you to pay those tickets.
Oh, yeah.
Would you be okay?
All right, you're good to go.
Yeah, that's fine.
Mr. Aberstein would forfeit any other bond balance to apply toward his
Yeah.
Well, I'm holding on to that for this one.
holding on to it until sentencing.
Yeah, because he's gonna get some fine or sanction and he's gotta pay for the economic crime class. We can take that from bond. All right, you're good to go.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Let's do our disturbing the peace on Miss Spivey. Are you Aaliyah Deshauna Spivey?
Yes.
I met you before at your arraignment. Are you related to Martha Spivey?
No.
She was Miss Three Rivers before you were born. I bet maybe you are related to her, just don't know it. Where are you from?
I'm from Illinois,
Oh,
Chicago.
then maybe you're not. I think I already asked you that when you were here before and you gave me the same answer. I apologize.
You're okay.
I can't remember. I remember things very well from a long time ago, like 40 years ago. I just can't remember what happened like last week. All right, you're charged with domestic violence. That's a misdemeanor. It's punishable by up to 93 days in jail and a fine of up to $500. It also would prohibit you from using or possessing a firearm. Charge of disturbing the peace is a much lesser charge. It's punishable by up to 90 days in jail and a fine of up to $500. I do not believe it requires that you get fingerprinted. I think you've already been fingerprinted, but it doesn't carry any firearm restriction. I say this a lot. It doesn't matter who started it or who was right or wrong. Was there a quarrel, argument, or disturbance, generally in a public place? Do you understand the charge?
Yes.
And Ms. Ives, you confirm that plea offer?
Yes, Your Honor, I have.
And Ms. Halleck, you do as well?
Yes, Your Honor.
This happened in Three Rivers, allegedly on January 11th. Were you living with someone named Bernard Wagaman?
Yeah, that's my ex-boyfriend.
And did you and he get into an argument that day?
Yeah.
Tell me what happened.
So to be completely honest, we got into it about he was cheating. So I said something to him and we was going back and forth. I pulled out my phone because he was acting like he was gonna run up to me and hit me. So I pulled out my phone to, record him because he's a man, I'm a woman. I know my charges from my past, so it's gonna be hard for me to just say, oh, somebody hit me first. I gotta have proof. So I pulled out my phone and started recording. He tried to take my phone, and that's how the fight started. Not one time did I hit him back though. I never maced him, nothing.
Well, it says here you maced him and then broke the TV and then left.
No, I did not. I left. That's all I did. Couldn't do nothing else.
Then he said his tires got slashed.
I did do that.
Well, that'll be sufficient for disturbing the peace.
Yeah.
So is he still your boyfriend?
No, I'm pregnant right now, but no, he's not my boyfriend.
Where is he?
I don't know.
You don't know?
No.
Who lives at Forest Street?
He does.
And where do you live?
I live in Kalamazoo now.
And what's your due date?
I just found out I was pregnant 2 weeks ago, so I don't really have like a due date. I haven't went to my first ultrasound.
Does he know?
No, I wouldn't know.
Somebody's about to tell him after watching the live feed of this. All right. Are you on probation or parole anywhere?
No, not at all.
All right. Well, this is just a disturbing the peace, so that's how I'm gonna treat it. I'm gonna give you a fine. I'm gonna give you some time to pay it.
Okay.
What do you do in Kalamazoo?
I'm a door dasher. Simple.
Well, that's not simple. That's hard work, as far as I can tell. Is there any restitution issue in here, Melissa?
No, Your Honor, we've had no contact or follow-up from the complainant at all.
All right, disturbing the peace is normally a $75 fine, $75 crime victims' rights fee, and a $50 state minimum fee. There's a $150 attorney fee, which is $350. You posted a $44,000 PR bond, so I don't have any money. How long will it take you to pay a $350?
You said $350.
Mhm.
I'll take my sweet time down. I don't really know, like, I
Well, I'm
got
gonna do,
bills, so I can't really just say like a time. So, I mean, I can.
well, I'm
do a
gonna want you to
payment
do a
plan.
payment plan at $50 per month.
Okay.
I don't want you to take your sweet time. Anyway, maybe it's just as well the two of you broke up, because there was more stuff that you guys were going at it and stuff got broken and yelling and screaming, and well, that's good. Where's he from?
Um, he different. I don't know him. I don't know. Like, everything about him was a lie, so I wouldn't be able to tell you too much about him.
Well, there's more to this. The house was trashed. I'm just gonna call it good at this. He's probably glad, you're probably glad the relationship is over.
Yeah, and I gave his mom $2,300 for that, the TV and everything else, whatever was broke. So. And then the other day too, I called because they said I couldn't be around him, but he came to my house and took my car.
Well, the no contact provision is lifted, so you can talk to him.
It's not a way I could put a PPO on him or something.
You could ask for one, yes.
Yeah, I want that.
All right, well, you could do it either here or in Kalamazoo County. You live in Kalamazoo, so you may want to pursue it there, but
Okay.
the bailiff's gonna take you out to the court office and we'll have you sign up in that payment plan. I want you to make payments starting in May.
Thank you. Do you have like the?
I've got more people than I got files here, so Rhonda, is that your last case?
No, Your Honor, I've got,
Aaron Burdick?
I've got Mr. Burdick here.
All right, let's do that one next.
Oh, it's more that you said, only seen those three. Thank you. Yeah, thank you so much.